Who want one last trip to the long trail?
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I want to talk to you guys about a beef set that happened a couple of days ago, and it quickly spiraled and got out of control. This all took place on Joe Budden's stream. You know, Joe Budden is kind of making a name for himself right now. He's quickly becoming one of the biggest streamers in the Tekken world. That's not something that's easy to do, but he's doing it with good old fashioned entertainment and just giving the people what they want. In one of the most recent beef sets that occurred on the stream, it was between Gojo and Terror. There was also a third party who was looped into all of this, which is Heavily Ochia. And at the start of this, I'll just kind of give you my understanding of these guys as I kind of was introduced to them. Gojo, I kind of bumped into him at the Mike Hollow, beef sets that he was doing a little while ago. I was kind of just playing, gaming, doing my thing. And then Gojo was one of the people in there who like has a lot of energy, popping off, making a lot of jokes, having a good vibe. This is why he's brought into the beef sets, because he definitely can, provide that energy, if it's lacking, right? And this is something that I quickly learned about Gojo, is that he's a trash talker, just like Pokechop, just like Joe Budden. There's people just like Shinblade, if he's drunk enough. Shout out to Blade. But also with Gojo too, something that I learned is that it's not personal. When I was doing beef sets, Gojo was talking about, man, y'all suck. Y'all can't Korean backdash. Man, y'all laggy. Y'all this or that, right? That's kind of some of the things he was saying to me. But right after those beef sets was over, like if I pop into a Gojo stream, or if I, run into Gojo in like a, Joe Budden chat or something, he's not keeping that same energy. He's like, it's like we're cool now, it's like that was our introduction, and then now it's like, oh, what's up, Moonsaw? Oh, what's up, Gojo? How's it going? Even though he is a trash talker, it's not like every time he's seen me, he's like, oh, you're that Yoshi who suck, you're that Yoshi who's this, So that's what I just noticed about Gojo. Is like, yeah, he could talk trash, but it's like in the moment, in the beef. And that's kind of what people want. That's what people love. Now, as for Heavily, I don't think he was present in any of the Mike Hollow beef set events, but I know at the end of my run with D, we did the first of 3 and I lost terribly. I had a lot of crybaby energy at the end of it. And Heavily was one of the people who reached out to me. It was like, hey, bro, don't hold your head. It's all right. Take this L on the chin and, keep your head up. If you want some advice or something, I could kind of help you. I kind of respected bro for that, because that was at a time when a lot of people, when I say a lot of people, I don't mean content creators, right? Shinblade, Pokechop, Mike, all of those guys were also very supportive. But like when you just talk about the random people popping in the chat talking trash, it was kind of like cool to get that type of like positive reinforcement. So that was kind of my introduction to both of those guys. And from that point on, I never really seen them as like toxic individuals, because I seen both sides. I seen the sides of them where they are in beef sets and they are, talking trash. But then I also seen the sides of it where it's like, okay, this is just a game, and like, we're all just, a part of the same community at the end of the day. Now, here's the Terror situation. I don't know how the beef between Gojo and Terror started. I mean, it doesn't take much in Joe Budden's stream. If two people are arguing, in 3 minutes, you guys will be playing the first of 10, right? So I don't know how it started, but eventually the first of 10 started. All of these guys were gathered in a group Discord, because that's how Joe Budden likes to do it. Right off the gates, Gojo's popping off. Terror was kind of popping off, but once the match started, he muted Gojo. Now, Terror said he muted Gojo because he basically didn't want to hear it. He, didn't want to listen to it during the match. And as for you guys who know, when you're doing a beef set, you really can't mute your mic. We've seen Mike Hollow multiple times say this as well during his event. You got to unmute your mic. You got to turn your camera on. You got to do this. You got to do that, because it's supposed to be entertainment, right? And it's not going to be entertainment if one person's quiet, or if one person's not interacting. That's why Joe Budden kind of put that pressure on Terror to unmute Gojo and also the stream. Now, here's the thing about this part. Terror also said on Mike Hollow's stream that he felt harassed and attacked by Gojo and also Heavily. Now, Heavily, he really wasn't talking trash as like, personally attack. Well, no one was really personally attacking anyone, but it was more so just trash talk, like, oh, you suck, oh, your connection is trash, oh, you're this, you're that, it's like general video game trash talking. But Terror, since it was coming from people that he didn't know, he felt like it was, and also he was being ganged up on by Gojo and Heavily, he feels that those two guys were harassing him. Now, Heavily wasn't really saying much. Mike Hollow read out like all of the messages that Heavily left in the chat. And by the way, these messages was screenshotted by Terror. And one by one, Mike Hollow asked him, is this harassment? Is this harassment? And is this harassment? And to every single message that Heavily left, Terror said no, it's not harassment. So this is the thing, right? When you skip ahead in the story a little bit, Terror reported both Gojo and Heavily for harassment and bullying. Now, as for Heavily, Terror already admitted that all of the messages that Heavily left in Joe Budden's chat was not harassment. Now, they were still, trying to say whether or not it's bullying, and I think anyone could kind of say anything is bullying. But once again, when you're in a beef set, you can't really do that. When I was, battling with D, and you guys know that beef was intense. When D made his videos, I can't be like, this is bullying, this is this, this is that. Like, it's beef. It's in the name. It's beef set. Now, as for Gojo, Gojo was doing a lot of trash talking during the beef set as well, but it really wasn't anything personal. And this is something that was established as well, is that Gojo never made any threats, any cause of violence. He was more so just saying things like, your Wi-Fi suck, you must be broke. He was calling them like B words and stuff like that. I understand we all have a different level of tolerance, and not everyone, will play these games. Like, you guys saw how upset I got when Pokechop and Shinblade was like yapping in my ear while I was getting stumped out, right? We all have different levels of tolerance. But the issue is that, one, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. I realized that beef sets aren't for me, and I kind of been chilling ever since. Two, if you do feel like you are getting harassed and you are getting attacked, leave, right? And this is something that was brought up, is like, if Terror was getting bullied by Gojo and Heavily on Joe Budden's stream, why didn't he leave? Now, what Terror said is that he didn't leave because he basically was enticed by the situation. A lot of people watching, he has this opportunity to show his skill. He has this opportunity to beat someone who has a lot of credibility, who has a lot of respect. Yeah, it's an enticing situation. If you're in a Joe Budden beef set and everyone's rooting for you or rooting against you, or you see the chat popping off, you could be like, yeah, man, I kind of want to get this W. Now, the interesting thing about this whole thing is that Terror actually did get the W. He won the beef set. But he kind of lost the war, because even though he won, he somehow let a small amount of trash talking get so under his skin to where he felt the need to report both of these guys. He reported Heavily Uchiha for, like I said earlier, Mike Hollow read out all the messages, and Terror himself said that it wasn't harassment. He reported Heavily for bullying and harassment. The bullying is very questionable because it is beef set, and then the harassment is already disqualified. So he wrongly reported Heavily to Bandai Namco and got Heavily Uchiha's Bandai Namco partnership revoked. Both of these guys, Terror and Heavily Uchiha, is part of the Bandai Namco partnership. I don't know what that entails. I know they get like some perks. I know they get some exclusive access. I know a lot of people want to get into that program, and a lot of people work hard to get into that program. So going into a beef set, getting a small dose of trash talk, and then you win, and then your reaction to them is to take their money away, to try to go after their livelihood. A lot of people just felt that was really slimy to do. It was really, really scummy. It was really bad. When I was talking to Terror, I tried to just tell him very briefly, like, when I battled with D, it was brutal, bro. I lost. Like, I had to hold the L. Like, D did not hold back in his videos. He went for the throat. But even then, I respect him for doing that. Even then, I was like, yeah, this is why I like D. If people think that I hate him or like I'm salty or something, I like D because I know that he is going to bring the fire. I know that when if you step to him, you better be prepared. I love that about him. And this is why, because I know he was dealing with a little bit of medical issues a couple of days ago. This is why I checked on him, and I was like, hey, bro, like, I'm praying for you, because like, even though we could get caught up in these moments and it gets really intense, it's just a game. It's just like entertainment, He makes a video, I make a video, this person says something, that person says something. We shouldn't be trying to, take each other's channels away, take each other's, partnerships away. And that's kind of what Mike Hollow was trying to say to Terror as well, is like, as content creators, one of the most cardinal sins you can do is like try to go after someone's channel, whether it's a Twitch channel, a TikTok, a YouTube. that is like the nuclear option. There is many things you do before then, like reaching out to them, reaching out to someone who knows them. You know, you could even try to expose them on Twitter. You could go that route. You can even try to go the route which Terror did. He went the route of like, let me contact the drama guys, Mike Hollow and Moonsalt, and let me get these guys all the information, and then let's try to get these guys on my side. Now, when he reached out to me, I was kind of like, okay, what's going on here? I kind of watched the beef set. I didn't see anything too egregious happening. In my opinion, I think my beef with D was far worse than everything that he experienced. So I'm like, there must have been something that happened behind the scenes for Terror to be this upset. And when he started, you know, sending me the voicemails and sending me the stuff that he did send me, that's when I reached out to Heavily Ochia. I was going to reach out to Gojo, but he wasn't streaming at the time. Heavily was. So I reached out to Heavily, and I was asking him, like, did you say this? Did you do this? What happened here? What happened there? And Heavily was giving me very reasonable responses. And once I learned that at that same time Heavily lost his partnership, I was like, hold on a second. Terror took this once again to the nuclear option, right? We're talking about the levels of escalation. Having a talk with someone, having a beef set with someone, getting the drama guys to try to, you know, do a hit piece. But then he skipped all the way to the nuclear option, the final thing that someone as a content creator should do, which is go after their channel, go after their sponsors, go after their platform. And when I learned that, I was like, yeah, this is kind of wild, bro. Once again, I can relate to this so much. I almost lost my channel like twice, bro. The Moonsalt Slayer be wild. And I'm sure you guys seen like tweets and what, like the Moonsalt Slayer really be out there acting like a maniac, bro. So like as someone who almost lost the YouTube channel twice, as someone who's always in controversy, as someone who lost the beef set, as someone who did all of these things, I just can't agree with the way that Terror handled it. He could have approached Heavily and Gojo and told them, I don't like what you guys did. Could you apologize? And they might have laughed or something, but I'm sure if he was like really being serious with them, like, I want to have a serious talk with you guys, I'm pretty sure they probably would be like, oh, my fault, bro. It's just a game. We didn't know you felt that type of way. If he would have went any type of route, he could have got any type of resolution. He could have reached out to Mike Hollow and Moonsalt first before going there, right? So I just hope that this doesn't happen again. And a real reason why I wanted to make this video is because it probably will happen again. You know, during the Mike Hollow stream, the ending resolution of it all is basically Terror. He understands that it doesn't qualify as harassment, but he still very much feels that these two guys bullied him. One thing about Terror as well is that he was saying a lot of other people bullied him. Like there was a Leo player that he fought against, and the Leo player was kind of like teabagging his body a little bit after he lost. He felt like that was harassment. He felt like that was toxic. He felt like, you know, there's a lot of other, and I won't get into the nitty gritty of all of the things that Terror was talking about on the Mike Hollow stream. You guys could go back and watch it. It's very easy for him to feel like he's attacked. It's very easy for him to feel like he's bullied, and he has to understand that he is easily triggered. And as a result, he has to not put himself in these situations to get triggered. I also hope that he doesn't continuously resort to trying to, you know, report people to Bandai Namco, report people to Twitch, because one side of this as well that I don't think I touched on is he also reported Gojo to Twitch. Now, I don't think Twitch will take action or is going to take action. They could. Gojo could get banned, but so far from what we can see, I don't think Twitch is going to do anything. But for someone to participate in a beef set, for someone to talk trash and kind of like, you know, be enticed by the beef set, for someone to willingly participate, for them to win the beef set, for them to then leave the beef set and then go and start reporting everyone, it's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy. We can't do that, bro. Terror, if you're listening, bro, please, like, if you feel like someone is harassing you, talk to someone first. Talk to like Mike Hollow. Try to get another Mike Hollow podcast. You know, reach out to me in DMs. You know, try to expose them on Twitter. Try to contact them and get a resolution. See if there's some misunderstandings. Don't go for the nuclear option and start reporting people to Bandai Namco, YouTube, or Twitch. If that's the route you choose, bro, just know that there's consequences that's going to come with that. And I know that you're willing to, you say you're willing to face those consequences, bro, but I don't think you are, bro. I don't think no one is. I don't think no one is willing to face that, because like I said, it's the most cardinal sin a content creator can do, a influencer could do. If you go after another influencer's platform, every other influencer will feel a type of way about that, and you will become a target for all of them, right? So that's really all I have to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening, and bye-bye.